Next up at UFC 309, we got Jimmy Miller taking on Damon Jackson. This is another fight with an incredible amount of line movement. We got Jim Miller, 37 and 18 in his career. 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off the bad loss to Bobby Green. He's taking on Damon Jackson, 23-7 in his career, 2-3 in his last 5. He is coming off that back and forth loss to Chepe Mariscal. Jim Miller's an absolute legend, especially in that neck of the woods. He's Jersey tough. He has a whole bunch of actual records in the UFC that include longevity, octagon minutes, all-time wins, all that stuff. He is the only fighter ever, and will be the only fighter ever, to complete on 3 different 100 milestone cards. He was on UFC 100, UFC 200, and UFC 300. He's a good grappler. He's got clean boxing, okay wrestling. He has all that veteran savvy. He's got toughness. He's got grit, everything you would expect from a fighter like him. He's definitely starting to show his age. He continues to defy the odds, but he did just get absolutely dog-walked by Bobby Green at UFC 300. He's taking on Damon Jackson. It is important to note that Damon Jackson is moving up in weight. He's a 145-pounder that got some new hair in the head, looking spectacular, has moved up to 155 pounds. And I don't know if that was because he didn't have the success he was looking for, if he felt like he was sucked out, he could have more success if he wasn't cutting all that weight. I'm not sure. But he is at 155 pounds now. And he is a very good grappler in his own right. He'll snatch things up in scrambles. He's willing to slug it out on his feet. And he uses those strikes to set up his takedowns. He doesn't have a lot of power in the striking, but he does land some heavy shots, immediately look to wrestle. He has a low takedown accuracy, but his nickname would imply he's got phenomenal control. He is the leech. And
that
when he
is not his name. How many times do we
I
have to go over
understand he
this?
changed it. I'm not going to
Out
the
of
new nickname.
respect for his fallen brother, he changed his nickname because that was his brother's nickname. So show him some fucking respect.
Oh, that's why he changed it?
Yeah, it was his brother's nickname was Action.
Oh, I didn't know that's why he changed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Asshole.
well then,
Yeah,
bad
you feel
on
now.
me.
Sorry, Damon.
I mean, I'll get over it. But, well, the reason the Leech nickname was so perfect is that's how he fights. He gets you to the ground. You can't shake him. And I think he wins this fight doing exactly that. I think he can get Jim Miller to the ground. I get, oh, Jim Miller's a black belt. Yeah, Jim Miller's a black belt. I don't think he's a modern era black belt. I did this whole rant in the Quick Pick video. There is a difference between some of these OG black belts and the new ones. There's a humongous difference. Getting a black belt back in the day is a huge accomplishment, a massive feat. He was one of the first black belts like in that area. But it is a different black belt. This sport evolves just like all other sports. You take some of the greatest athletes.
Some of the people are jiu-jitsu black belts, and now the new age is basically like MMA black belts. Like, it's fucking different.
Yeah. And I think Jim Miller, while he's got very good jiu-jitsu, and he is technically a black belt, I don't see him out-grappling Damon Jackson. I think Damon Jackson will have all the success. I think he wins this fight. I have a bet on him as well. I think my bet on him was at -110. I also smoked this line. I do not have buyer's remorse on this one. He's now -170. I still think he wins this fight. And I don't really see a ton of danger. Obviously, Jim Miller has a couple of random knockouts at his advanced age. I don't see that happening here, though. Damon Jackson is the pick. What do you think, Jakey Boomba-Lots?
High and tight. High and tight. You think if I held a football like this, just nice and tight like this, you could get it from my hands?
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Is that a full-size football?
You fucking sauerkraut son of a bitch. Yeah, it's a full-size fucking football. Yeah. I got fucking massive hands, dog. I fucking rip that shit. I put out a competition to any capper. I'll fucking out-throw any fucking capper. Next vlog, if I come over Saturday, watch me fucking launch this son of a bitch. 70, 80, maybe even 90 yards.
We can go to the field. We can go to the field and see who can throw it farther.
See who can not fucking. Do you honestly think you can out throw it farther than me? Be honest.
A baseball, yes. A football, probably not.
You can't throw anything. I don't give a fuck.
I'll fucking launch a baseball way farther. Not even close. Not even close.
Hold on. Step back and show your throwing motion real quick. Pretend to throw a ball. Scoot the chair back and pretend to throw a ball.
Yeah, right. Nice try. Nice
again?
try. That was called follow through.
And then
Why don't you break down this fight?
I'm like this, man. Anybody that sees this arm action like this, they know that you're fucking toast, dog.
I also just threw a baseball. I didn't throw
any amount of money. You think you can out throw me on a
Why don't we break down this fight?
Damon Jackson wins. I just don't love Jim Miller at this point in his career, obviously, Damon Jackson's not going to do what Bobby Green did, right? He's not going to pump the jab out there. He's not going to beat the fuck out of Jim Miller in that type of capacity. But I had Jim Miller as, what was he, my first lock of the week of this year? One of the early lock of the weeks against Mowgli. Felt good about it. He was a big public dog. But even in that fight that I thought he was going to fucking dominate, I was like, come on, Jim. Like, I mean, it was a competitive fight. He had been mowing through some people that weren't probably on his level, and he was doing what he was supposed to do. Then he fights somebody that was a little bit ahead of him, and he saw that, okay, maybe he's not, the resurrection of his career and about to go for a title run, Jim Miller. And I think Damon Jackson is just that guy where, obviously he's not going to have the fast striking as Bobby Green, but I do think he's better at this point in Jim Miller's career. I think he can do enough in the striking to get to the wrestling, get to the grappling. And there's one thing for Damon Jackson is he doesn't ever fucking quit. He doesn't ever fucking quit. And one thing, you just do a line?
No, somebody did a super chat, and I was trying to see what the profile picture was before I pinned it.
You just did a line.
Yeah, I did a line. Angie Coke.
Yeah.
Bang. Let's go.
Let's see. Everyone pay attention. Alert me when he itches his nose. Somebody alert me when he itches his nose.
So now that you said that, I'm going to have the itchiest nose in the world.
Somebody alert me because that thing's dripping. He's got that drip. But yeah, and I think at 155, what was happening at 145, I mean, you could see that looked like some pretty rough cuts. I mean, he was pretty rough on the scale, and he would slow down in the late seconds into the third rounds. I think at 155, we might see the best Damon Jackson yet, and an opponent that I think he could have advantages over in a lot of areas. So.
Cool transition,
Someone said Big Ange locked in, baby. Why you shake your leg?
What? Oh, dude, I see ya.
Yeah.
So fucking
you went like this too. I was doing
because I literally am always like twitching, shaking. I never sit
I bet.
It's so stupid. Is this the new narrative? We got over the AIDS and now it's this.
Oh, you still have AIDS.
I'm trying to burn it out of me. Anyway, we're both on the Damon Jackson side. $8,600 is probably a decent price point because if Damon Jackson wins, it will be with the grappling, with the control, with the takedowns. And I think Damon Jackson could have some success here. So he's going to be the pick. I may explore some lineups with him, but ultimately my final single entry cash game lineup, I'm going to have a couple of those 7,000 something dogs and then a couple of very expensive fighters because this card has some crazy pricing. If you want to check out all the picks, all the bets, the round line leans, everything that we do, it's $10 a month. That includes an artificial intelligence. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member at the top.
Jacob gives me creepy vibes.
He is a creep. $1.99 from Park Stew. George chokes on Froyo. I don't know what that means. Is that George Costanza when he was eating ice cream at the baseball game? This is after you accuse me of doing illegal drugs. Bro moves his mouth enough. You know what's funny about that? The reason I pinned this, I have Tourette's, actual Tourette's. But instead of cursing and doing ridiculous shit, I go like that. I straight up.
I know.
Okay.
That's why it's funny.
I do that. I stretch my mouth. I don't like curse. I don't have outbursts, but
fuck, pissed up.
Yeah, none of that. I just can't. I'll just do that with my mouth, stretch it out.